So all you have to do is look. Here's your interventricular septum. See how it's thicker on the left side than the right side? So this is the left ventricle, this is the left ventricle. If I just show you this is an anterior view, right? Because it's on the left side. If I'm just showing you this is a posterior view, right? Because this is the left, so it would be posterior, right?
So the thicker is the left side.
The thicker, yeah. But you have to look at the outer myocardium because the interventricular septum borders both ventricles.
Oh, so you can see how thick it is there.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter that it borders both ventricles because both ventricles contract at the same time. So all the muscle is just contracting at the same time, as opposed to the atria, right? And the reason why you have a difference in timing between the atria and the ventricles is because I think I can give you an example. I used to do this with my Gen Bio students. I used to make the students line up. I think you can understand it if I just tell you. They line up one behind the other, and they're very close to one another. And then I say to all the students, it's like 10 of them, okay, take a step forward. Well, they're stepping on each other's feet. Somebody fell down. It's not very smooth. But if I make each student move one step at a time, like the first one, go one step, the second one, now go one step, right? I stagger the stepping, everything becomes much smoother. So rather than having all of the chambers contract at the same time, in order to make much more efficient in pumping blood, is the ventricles will contract simultaneously, then they relax, and then the atria, right, contract simultaneously, and you have this alternating or staggering of the contractions, which makes it much more efficient. Here you can see the chordae tendineae there. You don't have a probe? You didn't take anything? You're just using your bare hands. So I'm picking up, this is myocardium. If I pick up the myocardium, look at the smooth papillary muscle down there.
Where?
Right here, this papillary muscle. The chordae tendineae attached to them, right? And then on the other side, it's not that very clear here, but on the other side, here it is, it's nice. You can see here the chordae tendineae are attached to the valves. These valves are just this flap of tissue, right? Can you imagine? Just think about that flap of tissue has got to open and close on every heartbeat. How many heartbeats per day, right? 80 per minute, right? 80 per minute. How many, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 times 24 hours in a day, times 360 days in a year, times, 80, 90 years in a lifetime. It's amazing that this little piece of tissue survives that long. So here you can see the ridges here. These are the trabeculae carinae. All right. If you look up further here, here's also ridges. These are the pectinate muscle. This is in the atrium. Now it's kind of squished. I'm still trying to stick my finger in, but this is the pectinate muscles in the walls of the atria. Usually, it's hard to see. I don't think it's on this side. Usually, you can find I don't know. You can usually find the aorta because the aorta runs right through the ventricle, going on the superior side of the heart. But everything is so squished. Let's see, what else do you need to know? What else did we do? Looking at the board. I don't usually ask. It's not easy to really tell the blood vessels.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because it's squished. So I usually what I do is I use the. You can see the model, right? Because the model I usually can do that, and you can't even see a lot of these blood vessels because of the fat tissue, the adipose tissue on the outside. So I have a list that I've posted. It's within the list of all the blood vessels you need to know, and it'll tell you what you need to know on the heart. Well, but the most important thing is to know anterior, posterior. Like I said, all the mistakes that students make are usually I'm asking them something about the anterior side of the heart, and they're giving me a blood vessel that's on the posterior side. So that's the first thing to learn. And it's not a lot of things. It's just, you have to pay attention, anterior, posterior. Here's his... guess this is the aorta.
Yeah, that's what we thought.
Yeah. Yeah. This looks like the pulmonary vein coming back. I don't know. He cut away a lot of stuff. He must have really took time to prepare this. Look at this. This is nice.
Oh.
Yeah. So look, I need a probe. So this is left. Yeah. So these look like the pulmonary veins going back to the underneath here, the right atrium. Right, here's the left, here's the right, and these, if I stuck my finger in, I bet you I'd end up in the right atrium. He said, don't poke, or otherwise I'll shoot you. But see how I went right into, that's the right atrium there. So these are the pulmonary veins. Yeah, this is hard. I don't want to poke too much. He'll know that I did it. He'll know.
Just say a student did it.
Yeah. These look.
Oh, this is on video. That's awkward.
Yeah. No. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Here's the. Yeah. This is probably the vena cava. Still hard to tell because it's a bit squished on top. See, here's your auricles. You see these flaps? All right. So if you had blood pumping through here, it would expand and you'd see the atria, but these little flaps are the auricles on the side, right? That I was talking
The
about.
other side.
It's hard to see, but it's fat.
They're a lot bigger than I expected.
Yeah,
Well,
me
they're
too.
pigs. That's why. This looks like a pig too. It's very big.
So are there any sheep ones?
I thought this was a sheep one. I don't know. But the students earlier told me this came from my package, and my package only had calf hearts. This is a very large calf heart for this, right? Because if this is a pig heart,
They're all that.
oh, maybe it is a little smaller, yeah.
There's a lot of fat.
But there is a lot of fat. So what you need to know is how to recognize the different chambers, right? Left and right, chordae tendineae, papillary muscle, the valve, the name of the valve. If the valve is in the left ventricle here, then it's the bicuspid valve. On the right side, and what I do is if I want you to name the chordae tendineae, I'll put the probe underneath it, and I'll say, what is the probe underneath, right? And this will be the chordae tendineae. And then if I ask you about the valves, remember the left side is the bicuspid. The right side, even though it's smaller, is the tricuspid valve. Or if you want to name, if you just want to say for the bicuspid, just say mitral valve. That's okay too. You can't see the valves for the pulmonary artery and the aorta, but those are the semi. Did I name them? I see. I didn't name them. Those are the semilunar valves. I didn't put it up there. I'll have to write it on the board. So those are the semilunar valves. You should know I said papillary muscle, but you should also know the trabeculae carinae, and in the atria, the pectinate muscles, which you can't see. I think that's it.